minus probability of A intersection B. Probability of A is 0.30. Probability of A is 0.10 minus the probability of the intersection 0.03. After simplification, we have 0.40 minus 0.03, which is equal to 0.37. That's why probability of A complement intersection B complement is equal to 1 minus 0.37, which is equal to 0.63. We can also calculate this directly by multiplying the respective probabilities of the complements. This is only due to the independence of the two events. Otherwise, we cannot multiply the complements in this way. This is only due to the independence of the events. Okay, now we have the probability of A, probability of B, and also the probability of the intersection. Calculate the conditional probability union probability of A given B complement, probability of B given A, and probability of the complement. And also check the relation between A and B, whether they are independent or dependent, because due to the probability of the intersection, which is not 0. Here we have immediate conclusion that A and B are not mutually exclusive. So this is one of the relationship, as the probability of the intersection exists, therefore, the events are not mutually exclusive. But we can also give the relationship by verifying that whether they are independent or dependent. All other conditions probabilities are simple. Union is simple, but just apply the formula. But this is a little difficult. By definition, the probability of A given B complement is equal to, because in the numerator we have the intersection and denominator we have the probability of second event B complement. How the numerator is equal to probability of B minus A intersection B. Okay, we check this through diagram. Through diagram. Okay, let me have this situation. This is our sample space. We have event A and B. This is A and this is B. What we need to verify, we need to show that we need this one. A intersection B complement. So first we check what is B complement. B complement is this portion. This portion is B complement. So what is the intersection of this shaded part with A? How much this pink shade is shared with A? Only this one. So this is our intersection. This one. Complete A without the intersection. Complete A without the intersection. This means this intersection is A minus the intersection. So same, we have the probability, that the probability of A minus the probability of the intersection. Because intersection B is equal to A minus A intersection B. So this is the reason. So again, simply put all these values as they are available. Probability of A is available, probability of the intersection is available. In the denominator, as we have the probability of B complement, here we have B complement. Therefore, B probability of B complement is equal to 1 minus the probability of B, and probability of B is given also. Further, we need probability of B slash A, B given A, and also B complement. Finally, as the conditional probability of A is equal to probability of B, and conditional probability of B is equal to marginal probability of B, hence they are independent. Also try to understand this example also. Here we are given probability of A, probability of the union, and find probability of B with these conditions one by one. We will not use any condition in any other part. In part 1, we can use the condition that A and B are mutually exclusive. In part B, they are independent, and we know the condition of independence. If they are mutually exclusive, that's why addition law reduces to this formula only. If they are independent, then in this addition formula, the intersection is equal to probability of A multiplied with the probability of B. Also, we have applied this this formula also. when the events are independent. So due to independency, we have used this advantage. Now, in this equation, in this formula, probability of the union is available, probability of A is available, probability of A is available here, except probability of B. Everything is known. So simplify this one. Simplify probability of B. Simplify for the probability of B. Similarly, as conditional probability of A given B is given, which is equal to 0.40, and on the right hand side, the formula for conditional probability is this one. We frequently use this formula, but in our given information, we don't have the probability of the intersection. So we change the formula of probability of A union B, which is equal to probability of A, probability of B minus the probability of the intersection A intersection B. So from here, the probability of the intersection will be equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus the probability of the union. The same discussion is here. We are given some information. On that basis, we need to give the answers of these parts. Probability that a part tested was defective, that the part is defective. This is given. This is given. Let me denote this probability, this event by D, that part is defective. We denote the event that a part is produced by machine A, we denote it by event E. Now the probability of D that the part is defective is given. Probability of E that the part is produced by machine A, this is given. Also, we are given this conditional probability. How we read it as D given E. E occurs first, and we find the probability of D. This is given. Given that the part produced by machine A, given that the part is produced by machine A, this is our event E. It is attached with given that. So this is if event. It is performed first. And then we have this probability that the part is defective. So this probability is the conditional probability of D depending upon E. That's why this conditional probability is given. In first part, what is the probability that the part is defective and produced by machine A? This means we need here the probability of the intersection. In second part, we find the conditional probability. Conditional probability of E conditional probability of E given that the part is defective. We need here this probability to calculate. In third part, if the part is defective, whether it is independent of its being produced by machine A, in this part we check the independence of E and A. In fourth part, we find the probability of both events connected with OR. This means the probability of the union is required here. Also, I have mentioned these hints here. So easily we can calculate all of requirements in part A, B, C, and D. In part E, we need to calculate whether these events are mutually exclusive. The answer is simple, that in part A, we have calculated the probability of the intersection. If it is not zero, this means they are not mutually exclusive. If the probability of the intersection is not equal to zero, then both the events are not mutually exclusive. If the probability of the intersection is zero, then events are mutually exclusive. Now read these two statements so that we could understand our required probability here in this case. In both the discussions, the requirement is given. This is required to calculate. Here in this case, the requirement is given, we need to calculate. Read both the statements. We will continue just after 5 minutes. In this part, we have 4 sections. What is the activity here? That a student is selected from the class. This is the activity. What is required? We need to find out the probability that selected student is a girl. In section A, we have 45 boys, 5 girls. Section B, 40 boys, 8 girls. Section C, 30 boys, 10 girls. Section D, 50 boys, 12 girls. So if we find the probability of a girl, this may be from section A or from section B or from section C or from section D. If she is from section A, the probability is 50 by 5 by 50. 5 by 50. If she is from section B, the probability is 8 by 48. If she is from section C, the probability is 10 by 40. And if she is from section D, the probability is 12 by 62. This first probability is depending upon the section A to be selected, because first we have to select a section, then we select a girl from there. So the second probability is depending upon the selection of section B, and similarly third probability is depending upon section C to be selected. So each probability is associated with the probability of the respective sections, but by chance we have the same probability of these sections. So 1 by 4 for each. This will be multiplied before finding the probability of a girl from there. So this is our required probability for part 1. Now, this is called law of total probability and also called the law of elimination. Okay. As this 1 by 4 is the probability of A, and this is the probability of a girl from A. So we denote properly these probabilities. This is B, and this one is the probability of G depending upon D. Okay. This is the product of probability of A and probability of G. So by multiplication rule, this product is equal to the probability of the intersection of A and G. Similarly, this product is equal to the probability of B intersection G. Similarly, this one is equal to the probability of C intersection G, and this one equal to the product of intersection of D and G. As we have added the probability of these intersections, and further nothing we have, just we are adding the respective probabilities of these sets. This means these sets are mutually exclusive. And combinedly they are equal to G, because on the left hand side we this probability is equal to probability of G. This means the set G is equal to the union of these intersections. Now if a student selected is a girl, what is the probability that she is from section A? We find the probability of A given that the selected student is a girl. In part 2, we need this probability, this conditional probability. And by definition, this is equal to probability of the intersection divided by the probability of G. The probability of the intersection, if we look at this portion, this is the intersection, its a probability, and this probability is equal to the product of A and probability of A and probability of G, and this product is equal to 1 by 4 multiply 5 by 50. So we have the probability of this intersection 1 by 4 multiply 5 by 50. In the numerator we have the probability of G, which we have calculated here. Probability of G, total probability of G. If you cannot interpret this expression in terms of the events, no problem, directly calculate this required probability. Because the selected person, the selected item, the selected region is depending upon their respective sections. That's why first we have the probability of the section and then our required probability. Or if we have more than one section, so first the probability of the section, then the probability of the requirement from there. Simply calculate and just give this expression. This is a complete answer. If you are not allowed to use calculator in the exam, just give this expression. This is a complete correct answer. Similarly, for second part, just give this expression. No need to simplify. If there will be a midterm exam, then inshallah, the calculator will not be allowed during midterm exam. This will reduce the time. Because most of the time is wasted in the use of calculator. And by the exchange of calculator, please give me calculator, please ask him to give his calculator. So if you don't use the calculator, all the time will be saved for rest of the calculation. Okay, now we expand our discussion to a problem of an application. A construction company employs three sales engineers, engineer 1, 2, and 3, to estimate the cost 30%, 20%, and 50% respectively. So we denote this estimation of the cost by the event AJ, where J is 1, 2, and 3. This is the event that our job is estimated by engineer J. This event will be A1 if the cost is estimated by engineer 1. It will be denoted by A2 if the cost is estimated by engineer 2. This event is A3 if the cost is estimated by engineer 3. Now we defined event E, that a serious error is made in estimation the cost. We need to calculate that who is responsible for this error, for this loss. So we cannot blame any person for the whole loss. Actually, we need to calculate here the part of the loss, you can say, the error contributed by each person according to his contribution in the project. A person is contributing a little, a little contribution is there. How can we blame him for the whole loss? So we will put a penalty according to its contribution, according to his worth. So we find the probability of the error if the cost is estimated by A1, or the probability of the error if the cost is estimated by engineer 2, and we calculate the probability of the loss or error if the cost is estimated by engineer 3. So we divide each loss to each person. So if an engineer 1 estimates the cost, then we find the probability of the error. Or other option is that if engineer 2 estimates the cost, then we find the probability of the error. If engineer 3 estimates the cost, then we find the probability of the error. All these things are given. Probability of A, the estimation of the cost by engineer 1, 30%. Estimation of the cost by engineer 2, 20%. Estimation of the cost by engineer 3, 50%. And also we have this information, probability of the error, probability of the mistake if cost is estimated by engineer 1. This is his worth in the market. The probability of the error, the probability, the chances of the mistake by engineer 2. This is his worth, 3%. In market, we know every person. These professionals, everyone very much know about their worth. So this is known. Similarly, the probability of the error, if the cost is estimated by engineer 3, the chances of a mistake by this person is 2%. But the difficult thing is only to express this probability conditionally. Probability of the error, if engineer 1 estimate the cost, probability of the error, all these three are the probability of the errors. But these errors, these probability of the errors are associated with the thing that if engineer 1 estimates the cost, if engineer 2 estimates the cost, if engineer 3 estimates the cost, then we have the probability of the error. Please wait 1 minute. Okay, I'm sorry for this delay. Now, please try these solved examples. Up to this, at this stage, this is called law of elimination or the law of total probability, and also find this conditional probability. What is the meaning of this one? If a serious error is made, what is the probability that it is done by engineer 1? Similarly, as we discussed in previous example, if a girl is selected, what is the probability that she is from section A? Similarly, we can find out the probability that it is done by engineer 2 or engineer 3 also. And also try unsolved examples from here. These three. If you could not understand, could not solve them, ask me, I will give you certain hints, only hints. And also these problems. Problem 34. I have also given the reference of these problems. And finally, for practice problem from the book, but let me check these problems. These are in Word first, and then I will assign you. Okay, that is the end of it. These two chapters will be included in midterm exam. It depends upon the university policy whether midterm and final separately they are conducted or not. Otherwise, we will have a comprehensive exam. If we have midterm exam, then these two chapters are included in midterm exam. You will have 10 short questions. Short questions, each of 3 marks. Short question means they can be easily solved within 3 to 4 lines, only 3 to 4 lines. This means your whole midterm paper can be solved in maximum 40 lines. Because you will not use calculator, just give the expression requirement, formula you are using, and give the expression. That is enough. Is there any question? Inshallah, next week we will continue from random variables. Random variables and some well-known distributions like binomial, Poisson, negative binomial, geometric, normal, and exponential. Okay, ji, Allah Hafiz.